Do you have an agent or a manager?
Yeah, I had a manager at one point. It's a pretty brutal story that I won't get into. I have been through that. I got to a point in my career, I started touring and I did a radio tour, and I started working on an album, and I met this manager a few months after I moved to Toronto, and he heard my music, and it became a situation that didn't work for me. We didn't have the same values, we didn't have the same morals, and so we separated. And at that point, not to get too deep and dark, but it was a low point. For me, it was a low point because I brought my career to a point where I toured with Roxette, I toured with Glass Tiger, I was doing arenas, I was going into radio stations, and it was pretty glamorous and fun, and but something was wrong in my heart. Something was not right. And I felt it, and I felt like people felt that. I felt like the connection with my people that have grown up with me, that have watched me develop, something was not working. And so I am no longer with that manager. And I went through that time of like, oh, what now? Like, what do I do now? I'm on my own. And now I'm touring. Now I need to sell tickets, and I need to market, and I need to get my CD to people, and everything that goes along with it. And so, I mean, yeah, we I don't know. I'm talking. I forgot even what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about. It's good. I get so emotional, and I'm like, basically, it was a hard time, and I decided, you know what? For me, it's worth it to keep going. For me, I have to keep going. It didn't stop me, and now I know. Now I've never felt stronger than I am today, because I'm writing my music. I'm sharing my songs, and I did it. I did that, and nobody is ever going to take that away from me again. And I feel stronger than I ever have in my entire career. And that wasn't very long ago. Mm-hmm. So I feel good. I feel good about the place that I'm in. This is about social media, isn't it? No,
yeah, we're going there. Like, it started with a little bit of introduction of the two of you. Yeah. That's important. Yeah. So both of you, I know, are probably active in social media. So maybe you could talk about the pros and cons of the work that you do, and how important. One of the questions from online was, how important is social media to building your audiences?
I think social media is huge. The con would be I never sleep, because I'm like, what's going on out there? What's going on Instagram and Twitter? But it's important for me as a radio personality and someone who works with Joey and my own personality is connecting with the audience, connecting with your fans, because we're not in an era of CDs anymore. And like I said, the relationships. If you're touring, people need to know where you're at, what you're doing. People are buying into a brand, right? And that's what it is branding yourself. They can, listen to you on radio, but when they get to know you as a person, that's when they're really going to support you. And so on Twitter and on Instagram, it depends. What's the best way to reflect your character, your personality, right? And me, I was on Big Brother as that like flirty housewife mom who's like, hey, so I'm going to do that. When I'm throwing hugs and kisses and smiles to everybody, it'll make people feel special. And I'm sorry if I flirt a lot, but that's sort of my brand. And I was on television, like in a hot tub, half naked with guys all the time. And I was like, hey boys. So that became my tagline. And I think that people can relate to it because it's real, it's honest. That's who I am. I don't have to be censored, right? And I think that when we are who we are, people will relate to you a lot better. And when you sing or when you rap or when you're doing what you do, they will appreciate it so much. See, we already loving each other. Aw, gripping me. But I think it's important when you think about what you're putting out there. Sometimes think of it as a job. As a radio personality, someone gives me information on who they are. I check out their Instagram. I check out their Facebook. I see if they're doing their work or not. If I go to your Twitter or Instagram and you're low in numbers, you're not doing work. Or if I see that maybe your image is like, throwing up your middle finger and this and that, then I'm thinking, well, you know what? You just lost a huge fan base. You have to be very careful what you're putting out there, because that's the difference between you performing in front of 100 people or 5,000 people. Am I going to invest my time and my money and my brand and sponsoring you to come to my city if you're going to be professional or not? Everything is so important when you're looking out there. Even in radio, when I get a demo or something, I want to see what they're producing and putting out there, even in their personal life.
Google, that is how I work. I'm like, what's the best way to market? How do I use Photoshop? How do I make my own video? How do I record something? How do I play a G chord? When do I post something on Instagram? And it is so true. I used to post everything in the morning and be like, 20 likes. Now I always post it before I go to bed, and I wake up and there's more. There's more. Now there's 21. Cha-ching. And being consistent is another thing. One a day. You don't want to bombard people with post, but just being consistent, and you find out what works for you. You find out what works for your fans and your followers. And the other thing was interacting with people. Somebody comments, I find like, try not to ignore people, engage with people, pick out, you can't possibly go, after each comment and comment back and like back, and because that would take me, I would have to quit music because I would, but picking out certain comments or questions, always questions. I answer questions. Comments, you just try to interact with people and let them know that you're real, you're listening, you care. And then they come back because they want you to do it again, and they want to be a part of it, and they want to, they just want to feel a part of that. So definitely, I would say interacting has changed my Instagram from, to there. For me, that's what made a difference.
How much time do you stay, are you online?
A lot. Always. Sometimes I wake up. If something happened, like if I did a show that I loved and I know that people are posting stuff, sometimes I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and go, let's see here. Be like, I like that. I hope you had fun kind of thing. I'm always on it. Always. And now it's just a habit. Like at first, I didn't love social media. I was like, I'm sing. Why do I want to go on that? But then I actually discovered that I get to talk to people that, the kid in the back that loved the show and heard one of the songs and were like, that really inspired me. Thank you. And I didn't get to talk to them and say, did you have a good day? Did you, what went on? What did you do today? Kind of thing. And I like that. I really like that. I enjoy getting to know people that listen to my music and people that care, So for me now, it's, I like it. I've learned to like it. I've found reasons to enjoy it. So.
Oh, it's addictive, definitely. And I think also too is taking pictures with your fans. I think that's really important as well. Spending time taking them, interacting, like you said, but also referring other people to your other resources as well. If you're on Instagram, refer them to your other sites, to your videos, to your Reverb, SoundCloud, everything. It's just cross-referencing all the time as well. And then, I don't know, because I'm a personality and not an artist, I'm going to hang out with whoever and everybody because I'm also in touch with their fan base too, right? So I'm really guilty of that because I'm like, hey, look at me, I'm hanging out with her, right? But, I think that's really important because we're building a family, right, across Canada. There's no room for, we don't have to, it's no crabs in the buckets. This industry has grown a lot and become a lot healthier. And so in this industry, get to know other artists. I think that when you travel, go meet, spend time with DJs, spend time with people who can play your music, spend time with people who can support you because you're also wanting to interact with their fans as well. So I think that's really important too.